Hey, it's Nate, and today I am doing Your Song by Elton John. I've gotten a ton of requests for this one. Elton John songs are tricky because he is constantly arpeggiating and improvising in a way that is fairly advanced and can be tough to coordinate while singing. But a nice thing is he does it differently every time he plays a song, so there's really no right and wrong way to do it. That said, I am going to show you an easy and great sounding way to cover this just doing a simple rhythm on the chords. But then I will also show you how to arpeggiate the chords like he does if you're up for the challenge. Let's jump in. Alright, so first off, I recommend you get the chords and lyrics chart. There's a link down in the description, and that's going to help you follow along and see where the chords and lyrics line up with each other. The song is in the key of E flat major. So E's, A's, and B's are flat, although it does step outside that in a few places. Also, here's middle C, so you get the octave. We'll start out with the intro, and when I get to the verses and choruses, I'll focus on the easy version while giving you a few options for the arpeggios, but because the intro piano part is so recognizable, I'll show it to you note for note while giving you an easy option as well. It's gonna sound like this. Here's the underlying chords, which we should learn before we start arpeggiating them. One thing to notice right off the bat is that everything in the left hand is E flat. We've got an E flat chord, and then all the other chords are slash chords with the E flat coming after the slash for the bass note. So for this E flat chord, we've got a G, a B flat, an E flat, and another G. That's a wide stretch. For easier options, for all of these chords, you could just stick with the bottom three. But that's what Elton plays. Now for this A flat chord, we're gonna keep our third finger where it is on this E flat, and it's gonna look like that. A flat, C, E flat, A flat. Once again, you could stick with the bottom three notes. The B flat is going to look like this: F, B flat, D, and F. And then we've got another A flat over E flat, but this time it's inverted down like that. C, E flat, A flat, C. And we're in 4/4 time, so each of these measures gets 4 counts. So the pacing here would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But to do the arpeggio rhythm, we need to think in eighth notes, so thinking 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And the core rhythm I want you to get into your muscle memory before we start arpeggiating the notes is 1, 2, and 4. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And you can practice that with clapping or just on a single note. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Ba, 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 ba. We'll take it measure by measure. Here are the notes for the E flat chord measure. And it starts out with, this is the 4 notes that I showed you before. And you're just going to hit that on count 1. And then we've got G, B flat. All of these notes are ones within the chord already. So G, B flat, and then up to the high G, E flat. So we start at the bottom, skip up, then we jump up to the top and skip down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Sounds really nice with the left hand. And I'm using the sustain pedal as well. But to do the rhythm that he does, we're gonna break the left hand octaves into bottom, top, and we hit it on 1 and 3. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Notice that the beat 3 hits between right hand notes. Let's keep going. It's the same rhythm on the A flat chord, but here are the notes. So we strike the whole 4-note chord, and then this time the pattern's a little bit different. We're moving down to E flat, C, jump up, A flat, E flat. And with the left hand. By the way, if you are finding these stretches too big, I mentioned just using the bottom 3 notes, you can totally just do any combination of those notes on the same rhythm. Doesn't sound exactly like what he did, but it still sounds really good, and you can do that for all 4 of the chords. So let's try the B flat now, and actually this one on just count 1, we're gonna hit something slightly different than the chord. We're gonna hit a C here, so it's a B flat sus2, and then the rhythm's a little different too. It just resolves right up to the D on the and after 1. And notice this one, we don't do the whole voicing I showed you at first, just the bottom 3 notes. 1 and 2, going down to the B flat, and then we hit that high F on the and 3, and then skip down and 4. Again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 with the left hand rhythm. Okay, let's do that other and final A flat here. And once again for this, just on the downbeat, we're gonna only hit the bottom 3 notes. So we hit that, and then we're gonna skip down on, once again, this one has the and after 1 on it. 1 and 2 and 3 and then we're not gonna do the E flat here, we're actually gonna skip down to the C. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then we would hit the verse. Let's put that all together slowly. Okay, let's do the verse. Here are the chords for the first verse, and all the verses are pretty much the same. I'll just walk you through the voicings. We've got E flat, and throughout the rest of the song, the E flats we're gonna do are mostly gonna be voiced B flat, E flat, and G like that. And I'm gonna be doing octaves for the most part in the left hand. You could totally just do single bass notes though, if you need. Okay. Now we've got this A flat major 7, and this is actually one spot where we're gonna do fifths in the left hand, so you can keep your first finger on the E flat and just move your 5th finger up to the A flat. And it looks like that. It's basically a C minor chord in the right hand, C, E flat, and G. So notice all that needed to happen in the right hand was for that first finger to move up to the C. Now we've got a B flat over a D. We're gonna voice the B flat like this, B flat, D, and F root position, coming down to D bass notes, and then up to a G minor like that. So came up with the octaves, and then B flat, D with the 2nd finger, 5th finger on G. I'm gonna play half note chords in the right hand, so just hitting on beat 1 and 3. It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. So coming up to this C minor here, C, E flat, and G, and I moved a little bit lower with those left hand octaves. And then this whole line, we're basically just doing this C minor and stepping down in the left. So we've got C, C minor over B flat, C minor over A, and then we're gonna step down to an A flat in the left. The right hand does change slightly to make it the A flat 6. It's just the top note coming down to an F. Let's keep going. We've got E flat over B flat. So the same E flat we were doing, but the left hand is a B flat. It's kind of a suspended sound, and then we resolve it down to just regular B flat. And then love this chord. This is where it steps outside the key a little bit. So we've got B natural, and then D and G there. And then we're back to the same C minor. Don't have much money, but boy, if I did. Okay, now we're back up to the E flat. I'd buy a big F minor here. So the left hand's coming up even higher on F, and we've got A flat, C, and F here. Houseware. And now we're gonna move both hands up. A flat here, C, E flat, and A flat up here, before going back to a B flat. And I'm gonna hop my left hand all the way down to this lower B flat. Now, most of the time we're using this B flat. I do hear him use this lower inversion just in this part of the progression. If you wanna keep it consistent, you can do that. But I'm probably gonna do that. And then we have this just little alteration to a B flat sus4. So the D comes up to an E flat and then back down. And if you're doing it in this position, it's just the same thing, but it's the middle note. I'm gonna play through the whole verse now, just using this simple version before going on to some of the more fancy optional details. But I am gonna add just one more bit of rhythm in the left hand. In addition to playing on count 1, I am also gonna play on count 4. Sometimes with just the top note of the octave, although you can also do the full octave. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Just gives it a little bit more movement. It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can easily hide. had I don't have much money, but boy, if I did, I'd buy a big house where we both could live. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to talk you through some of these awesome rhythms and arpeggios Elton is doing throughout the song. So we can base the core of it on what I already showed you for the intro, and that's that rhythm 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And the thing is, he does all combinations of order and patterns. So I like doing where you do the chord, top, and then skip down, but anything works, and you can improvise it on the fly or pick your favorite and just get used to that. And then the left hand is going to be doing that 1 and 3. So maybe just play around with that. But there are a few particular melodies he ends up hitting that I really like and want to touch on. So we've got, love that little melody. So it's the same rhythm we're talking about, but stepping down on an F there when we're doing that A flat major 7. And also I just want to point out that of all these rhythms, the 1, 2, and 3, and 4, it's the and after 2 that really gets a lot of emphasis. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So I'm going to be emphasizing that throughout. Then we've got the B flat. And sometimes I might throw in, he does a lot of these sus things like 1 and 2. And we got the G. I think he steps down on an F there. Now for the C minors, all throughout, even though I showed you just the simple version like that, he does reach up to that high C. The general pattern on these C minors, which happen a lot, is something like, so striking the 3-note chord and then coming up on that emphasized and after 2. If you want to make it even harder, he sometimes throws a D in there. It's this nice kind of moody sound, and he'll do something like. So I'm going to try to throw that in sometimes. It sometimes throws off my singing though. On that A flat 6, he does just kind of on every 8th note, just kind of walking around on those notes. Just kind of the same stuff. So on these B flat sus4 bits, we can focus on this rhythm here. It's going to be 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. And if we do both measures with the B flat sus4, it's 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Maybe coming back on beat 4 there. You can add a little bit more by doing just the bottom right hand note on the 8th notes before the hits. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. And then I'm just kind of pulsing around in the left hand. It's just sort of a dramatic, loose moment. Okay, cool. So play around with that, have fun with it, but if you just stick with the simpler chord version I showed you, I think it still sounds great. And you could throw in some of those melodies like, it's a little bit funny. You could still do that little melody there before this feeling inside. After that first verse, we have another verse that's basically the same, different lyrics. Here's the chords for that. The only difference is those last 2 measures. Instead of the B flat, it goes to an E flat, which feels a little bit more final as we go into the chorus. And it does do the sus4. That's going to be the G going up to an A flat. And one little detail you can throw in is there's this little bass line here where you hit a G and then back to the E flat. That's just on beat 3. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Maybe hitting them together, and then we hit the chorus. Okay, let's continue on to the chorus. Here are the chords for that. This should go a little bit faster because we're gonna do the same rhythm options. Starts out with that B flat over D, same way we did it in the verses, down to C minor, same way we were doing it. Now we're gonna do the same F minor we were doing, but this time we're gonna do the lower option for the F bass note, and then for this A flat, instead of coming up to that higher inversion, we're just gonna drop the top note down to an E flat. And you can tell everybody this is your song. And there's this little walk up on G there on the way up to song. And then it just does the same thing again. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done. Okay, here's the moment we're all waiting for. I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind. So this is really similar to that walk down moment. It's actually the exact same chord progression that we had in the verses. So we've got C minor over B, C minor over A flat 6. But no matter what version you're doing, you don't want to do a lot of arpeggios here. We just kind of hit the chords. I'm going to hit on 1, 2, and 3, 4. Or you can do it just the right hand. And if you can make the stretch, I would include that high C. 2, 3, 4. That I put down in words, and that you just hold. How wonderful. So this is the E flat we've been doing, but for the first time it's E flat over G. So we're stepping down to the G there, full, and then we turn right around. Life is F minor over A flat. So same F minor, but with A flat in the bass. While you're really similar sounding chord here, but we're just going to the A flat in the right hand with the E flat there. In the world. And then actually I'm going to do the higher B flat here, the root position. And this is a really similar moment to what we had before with the world. And you can of course do the, which brings me to, you can apply all the same ideas that we had in the verse if you want to do the arpeggios. You can tell everybody this is your song. So we've now learned basically everything you need to know for this song. After that chorus, there is an interlude, which is the same as the intro. We've got the... And he varies it a little bit. You can change the order if you want, or play it exact same. And then we have another 2 verses. Verse 3 and 4 are the same as verse 1 and 2, just different lyrics. The verse 3 ends with the B flat sus 4. Verse 4 ends with the E flat sus 4 again. Then we go into another chorus, just like the first one. But after that chorus, we have what I'm calling the outro, which is basically just the second half of the chorus again. So at the end of the chorus, after we have "You're in the world," we go back to, I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in words. So this is all the same. How wonderful life is while you're in the world. So then we have that intro part again, but this time it's the outro. Maybe a little bit of a slowdown, and then just end on an E flat, the same way we were voicing it for the verse and chorus. And then the song is over. All right, thank you for sticking with me. I am now going to do a full playthrough so you can see how all these parts fit together in the complete song. And so that I touch on everything we talked about, just for the first verse, I'm gonna do that simpler blocked chord approach, and then as I go on, I'll do some more of the arpeggios. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and click the bell so you know when I put out more videos like this one. Okay, here is my version of your song. It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can easily hide. right. I don't have much money, but boy, if I did, I'd buy a big house where we both could live. If I was a sculptor, but then again, no, or a man who makes potions in a traveling show. I know it's not much, but it's the best I can do. My gift is my song, and this one's for you. And you can tell everybody this is your song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is while you're in the world. I sat on the roof and kicked off the moss. Well, a few of the verses, well, they've got me quite cross, but the sun's been quite kind. Well, I wrote this song, it's for people like you that keep it turned on. So excuse me for getting, but these things I do. See, I've forgotten if they're green or they're blue. Anyway, the thing is, what I really mean, yours are the sweetest eyes I've ever seen. And you can tell everybody this is a song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is while you're